the Red Beaver League. 12 players battling it out during the season to determine who takes it up against the last year's champion. Here are Belgium's finest backgammon players. Marc van Damme, a natural backgammon wizard since decades, challenges the 2023 champion Geert van der Stricht, the strong chess mathematician. At stake, the prestigious Red Beaver League trophy. Enjoy the coverage of the RBL Final 2024. Hey everyone, thank you for coming to my videos of the Red Beaver League Final 2024. This is the final session, session 3. In this session they will battle it out for the trophy. But before we get into it, I will show you the results of the previous 2 sessions. Yeah, here they are. So Geert won the first session with 4-2 and an overall PR of 2.83 and Marc 3.54. And the second session was won by Marc 4-2 with a 3.69 overall PR and 5.19 for Geert. So now the current score is 6-6. And Marc is leading 3.63 versus 4.23. So I'm very curious what will happen in this session. But before we start the session, I have 2 very nice surprises for you. The first one is Michel Lamote did an interview with Geert. Let's have a look.
Geert, we're going to do a little short interview in English for our global viewers. We play a duel of 9 matches. How do you look back on the first 2 sessions?
I was very happy with my first session of 3 matches, of course, with my good PR, my good checker play, especially, but also my QPR. But I was a little bit disappointed in my second session. I mean, I had in the 4th match a few missed doubles, which cost me a lot of equity, and afterwards I realized I had to give this cube to 4 because Marc had a very difficult decision to take it or to pass it. After all, it was equal for him. So that was a little disappointment for me. Also in the 5th match, where I took 400 pass when I was trailing 5 away, 3 away. That was a little bit due to time pressure, but that's in fact no excuse. So a little bit mixed feelings.
Yes, I would say so too. And I would also say, okay, it's 6-6. There is a positive way of looking at the first session too. Because, of course, you had a great start, but suddenly Marc countered. But in the last match, you were able, in a match where you were like blown off the board, to keep your composure and still play the precise move to win the PR point. So now it's 6-6, and you lost 4 of the 6 matches.
Yes.
So voilà. If this momentum can change, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. I think we both realize this. So it will be really a tough finish this afternoon.
Okay, so that's the first 6. Now the final session. How do you? What's your look on it?
I will just focus on the game and do my best, and then try to keep focused and also try to avoid big time trouble, because that's a working point for me. If I can avoid big time trouble and I can have the focus during the 3 matches, then it will really be very hard for Marc to finally win this one.
Yes. Especially now, match 7 will be important because that will determine where the momentum shifts and where it goes, in whose favor it will turn. So an important 7th match first. And then it's this trophy you play for, you just mentioned it. You would like to take it home.
Of course. It's one of the nicest trophies I have ever won.
Okay.
So I hope to take it back home, but of course I will have to work for it first.
And is there a stress level? Like if you have to play a chess match in the Netherlands for a team competition or in a tournament, a Belgian championship, chess on the highest level, how are your sensations mentally before this final session?
In fact, thanks to my experience in chess, I'm used to perform under stress circumstances, like now also. Mm-hmm. So, in fact, the stress level is relatively low.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Okay.
Thank you, Geert, for this short talk. Wish you the best of luck.
Yes, thank you.
But I will wish Marc the best of luck too,
yes,
of course.
I understand, of course.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that was very nice. Thank you, Geert. Thank you, Michel. My name is Rain from the Netherlands, and I'll do the running XG for you. And I'm providing you these graphics, visuals, videos. Now the match is starting soon, but I have another second surprise for you. Next to me is sitting Michel Lamote, and he will be providing the commentary for the final session. Okay, there they go. So, welcome Michel, take it away.
Thank you, Rain, for this great introduction. We are all on the edge of our seats.
Goedemorgen, Marc.
To watch and witness this crucial match in this 9-match duel, the final of the Red Beaver League. Geert opens with a big split with his 6-3 and Marc replies with 3-1. He does make the 5-point, which is correct. Double fives is a great roll by Geert, establishing the 3-point in board. Marc should be wary of splitting here, but he does split quite quickly without giving it a second's thought, and we can see that this is a mistake. 66 millipoints, it can even become more. Splitting is a tactical mistake. After the opponent rolled a 5-5. Geert has a 5-3. He can make the 5-point but leaves a direct shot, which is anti-thematic if you have a single checker back. So buttoning up, leaving no shots in the front position is the best play. Well played by Geert. Aces for Marc. Making the 4-point is standard. Great play. 4-2 is a wonderful number for Geert. Pointing. And now, of course, a dance by Marc could bring Geert into cube territory, but Marc comes in and escapes. Geert has threats here, but not enough quite to double, I would guess. The 2 hits and the 5 can either come down or hit on the ace. I would give this some thought, because Geert is close to a cube, and we can see that he could have forced the issue. Thank you, Rain, for pointing this out on plus. It's a mistake. A big mistake not to go for the big play and to double hit. 5-3 Marc comes in and has a 3 to play. First instinct for me would be to lift the blot from the 11-point to the 8 so that you are only vulnerable on one side of the board. a common motif in the middle game in backgammon. And we can actually see that you can play the 3 down. I'm surprised by this. One of the reasons may be that the cube is still in the middle and Marc should go for the checker play which gives him the most winning chances. Playing the checker down wins more than 1.5% extra. So with the cube likely to come flying, Marc has a choice to make here. Wow. And Marc has, of course, has the analytical mind to not just play a 3 randomly. He is judging the possible repercussions of his checker play.
Wow, he thinks a long time about
He
it.
does. And we have seen in the first 2 sessions that once in a while Marc comes into treacherous time trouble territory.
Maybe he's going to get cubed, he thinks about this.
Yes, he is certainly taking this into consideration. And he does play the 3 down, which is a great checker play, which I would not have found. And Geert now has clear threats. He has a race advantage, 11 checkers poised to attack. But giving this some thought, there comes the cube. It's a good one. It's a mandatory cube. Geert rolls, and he rolls one of his best rolls with snake eyes. We saw Geert immediately pointing to the 7 point, which I think is a no-brainer play, confirmed by XG. Stepping up, of course, to improve your escaping chances is a second option, but the 5 prime with the back slotted is very expensive.
Wow, I would make
But
the 7
wow,
point here.
Wow.
But
Plus
it's a bit-
says that stepping up in the back is actually better. This is a very tricky play to find. Making the bar point wins 4% more. And wins 4%. No. Stepping up wins 4% more. Compensated by extra gammons if you make the bar points. Wow, tricky play. Doesn't spend too much time. Marc dances. Great opportunity for Geert now. Wow, he steps up, ready to escape and establishes a 6 prime. Looks like this game is shifting in Geert's favor. Okay, well played. Now Marc is in damage control mode. He needs to anchor to avoid being gammoned. 2-1. Can't escape. Needs to keep the 6 prime, of course. So then 7 looks okay. There's the 2 entering but not anchoring. And now a 6 needs to come in. I think I would limit shots in the outfield over there. But the computer finds something different. You can either play 10-3 or 11-5. If you play 10-3, you leave only 6-2 and 4-4, which is 3 shots. But maybe that's not so important. Actually, the computer gives an extra shot, 4-3 and 6-1. 15 millipoints at stake, we can see in plus plus. But Marc is determined to think this one through. This looks a bit safer in the front, but you will be attacked. So tricky. I would not really know what to think here in weighing these two options, and the difference is small. I would just limit shots and play 10 to 4. But Marc is looking for some subtleties and burning time in the meantime.
It seems a very intense start of the last session.
Yes, players are definitely focused. 6-5 could escape or could point on the deuce. I think pointing on the deuce is way better. You win definitely way more gammons. Yes, 24% more gammons by pointing, and Marc dances, now huge gammon danger. Double fives, can't escape but shifts. This is a strong move, even though he can't escape. And now you need to remain flexible so that if Marc enters, you can pick and pass. 10-5-7-2 looks like the best play here. Marc under pressure. 4-2, Geert escapes and continues. Duplicates aces here, but that's probably okay. Another dance by Marc, and Geert now poised to win a gammon in this opening game of the third session. Hit and down, yes, a third attacker. Should Marc enter with a 6? This is a dramatic and blistering start by Geert in this opening match of the third session. I was thinking
maybe without hitting, but the hitting is sure better, huh?
I think so, because you win way more gammons. (3-2). Yes, here you need to avoid or be careful about rolling high doubles. This is technical play. We shouldn't expect any mistakes here by Geert. This is a nice roll which puts even number of checkers on the two highest points. This looks very much like this is a done deal. 5-3. Yes. No risk whatsoever in the front. Six one, takes one checker off. Geert needs to be wary of rolling 4s, 5s or 6s here. It's 6-5, still a bit of a clumsy or position. There are plenty of rolls now which leave shots. 4s is one of them. Marc gets a chance to hit with a 3 and then have a containment game to play. Can he find the 3? No. Wow. So this game is over. A beautifully timed cube by Geert. Well taken by Marc, but he got blown off the board. So we have a 4-0 lead for Geert, who is way ahead now. And has a great option of gaining an advantage in this all-important final. Wow. Both players made some inaccurate checker plays, I guess. Geert's PR is around 4, Marc's is slightly better. So in this format, it's of course important to win the match and get 1 point. But having the better PR is a second point which could be very important in the long run. 3-2 for Marc. He is 7 away, 3 away. Typically when the opponent is 3 away, you can cube more aggressively, play some more aggressive checker plays, and that's what Marc did with his 3-2, playing 2 down. Geert replied with the 3-1, making his 5 point, and this is a 5-2. The 2 is tricky. You can make the 11 point, which is really important when the 5 point is open, but splitting here is another valid option, and Marc goes for the split. We can see that making the 11 and slotting the 5 was best. Not easy. Double sixes, pointing on the ace is an option, but Geert rejected it right away. This is the more balanced play. 3-2. Anchoring up seems mandatory, and then you have a 3 to play. Lifting to the 8 is probably best with the race not that dramatically lost yet. But Marc seems to be thinking about making a hype or a super bold play by slotting the 5. It is equal. 5-2. I would say the 5 comes down and then you have a 2 to play. This is an option I would not have looked at right away. It is thematic after an opening or a double 6 in the opening to vacate the 18 point with a 5-4 or a 5-3, but with a 5-2 and stepping into a triple shot is probably a bit too risky. So the 5 comes down. Yes, here, that's good. Okay, slotting, is that necessary? I'm thinking of Michi's theory. If you have a high anchor, in his book Back Checker Strategy, if you have a high anchor, you tend to look for safety in the front. You don't want to take unnecessary risks. So I don't think I would slot the 4 point here. You can play either 8-6. And I can see Rain has just pointed it out on the screen that you should play 2 down from the mid, which is also thematic in fact. Once you have established the 18 point, the midpoint becomes a bit redundant, and in many tactical variations, XG gives it up. Even in this checker play, he gives it up, gives an ace to hit, but from the midpoint. So much better than slotting. I can see why now. If you slot the 4 point and Marc rolls an ace, he does 2 things. He mobilizes his back checkers and gains enormously in the race. If you leave the blot on the midpoint, Marc has to give up his midpoint to hit, and the aces are hugely duplicated. Geert makes a mistake here. I don't know how big it was. Can we see that, Rain, if it was a big mistake to slot or not? Or maybe we should stay with the action. Slotting is okay. Wow, slotting is okay. 6-2 for Marc. He played the 6 already, now has a 2 to play. It's the same theme. Can you leave the builder there on the 10 point and use the 2 to unstack your heavy 6 point and slot the 4? It looks good to me, but the race is close enough for Marc to put all his eggs in one basket and play for the race here. So 10-8 is slightly better, but it's a coin toss. Marc, of course, doesn't know that. You never know how many millipoints are at stake in a checker play like this. Is it 35 millipoints or just 2, like here? He does decide to slot. Double 6 for Geert. This doesn't feel like a good roll. He wanted to cover his blood on the 4 point. Now he seems to be forced to make the ace and find himself with a slight timing problem. Way up in the race with a high anchor, not easy to play. 6-2. Okay, now the 6 makes the 4 point. And I would keep a spare on the 8 for flexibility. So 6-4 is best. Nicely played by Marc. 6-2. Wow, this does make the 4 point. But now Geert has lost all flexibility. Nothing he can do about it. Marc's position beautifully robust. He rolls a 3-1, which is a small number, which makes the 3 point. It's great. And Geert cannot escape from the 18 points. So how to play these aces? Do you keep the 8 or do you keep the 7? This is a tricky one. I would not really know. Both plays seem okay. Rain is plussing it, and it is better to play it like this. No gap, solid 4 prime, but you do give Marc the option to escape with double 5s. Of course, now he can escape with double 4s. It's a tricky decision, but both players want to squeeze every bit of equity out of every checker play.
Wow, how to figure this one out?
No idea.
Maybe it's about how to play the 5s and 6s or something.
Yeah. Oh, there is the double 5s for Marc. Wow, what a swing. How ironic. If Geert had made the best play according to XG, the double 5s would have been an anti-joker. Now Marc is down in the race, but he does gain enormous outfield coverage, having 3 points which attack the 18 point. Geert's 18 points, should he run with a 4-6 or something. 6-2. Geert has 2 blots in board. Okay, that doesn't warrant any unnecessary risk. As we can see, Marc keeps a 4-point board. 4-6. Escaping seems still too dangerous. Geert is looking at it. 18-8. But probably better to keep the anchor and do something slightly destructive in the board, but not fatal yet. 6-5. Clears the 8, I think. Cannot leave a shot against the opponent's 5-point board. Geert now perilously on the verge of crunching. 2-1 is okay. This looks nice. Saving a 6 is the tactical motif. 4-3. Wow. And now Marc is forced to hurt his board, but the other option is not good. Leaving a shot in the outfield would give Geert way too many chances to escape with impunity. But the race is close, as we can see. The double 5s rolled by Marc a couple of rolls ago changed the complexion of the game completely. Geert has a 4-6 to play. Wow. At first glance, you would say escape, but Geert's race advantage is not big anymore, so this looks good. it's technical.
Tough play.
Yes, I mean, if you run, you open up, you let your guard down, and suddenly Marc has great rolls like 5-2, 6-2, double 2, which otherwise would play badly.
I wouldn't give the jokers here, no.
Mm-hmm.
Or any hitters anyway.
No.
Marc has to move, you know. Something.
Yes, Marc's position is brittle, so either he will have to give up one of his outfield points, or he will have to break his board even further, and we can see indeed that Geert should stay on the anchor. The race is close, and Marc has bad sixes, I would say, for the moment. Any six is bad, right? Except double six.
Wow, it's a big difference.
Yes, wow, more than 100. Let's hope Geert finds it, or his overall PR might suffer. Geert is well composed.
I wouldn't leave a shot here.
No.
Why he thinks about it?
Well, he does think about it. He lets it sink in.
He probably thinks he don't want to break his board soon. So.
Yes. The thing is, if he plays, or if he stays on his anchor, he doesn't really break his board. He keeps a 5-point board. In a situation where Marc has some very unfortunate rolls coming up. 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4, 6-5, you know, all these rolls play badly. 5-2. So these are, I think I would consider them swing rolls, and play like this. And we know, of course, now that this is the best play, but for Geert it is tricky. If he had been up more in the race, this play would... Wow, and he does choose the wrong choice. That will hurt his PR big time. And there is the 5-2 we warned against.
Joker.
Wow, Geert needs to come in now. He can't, and he will get cubed, of course. This is a powerful cube. And Geert, this is a very typical situation. You are on the board against a 5-point board. It's always important which point is open. But typically the player who is on the bar needs to have a race advantage to be able to take this. So I think that Geert would need about a 10 or 12 pip race advantage here to be able to take. And since the race is even, this is a clear pass, as we can see by XG's decision. But maybe Geert is not comfortable with this reference position. Don't tell me Geert is going to take this. That would, I think this will be devastating for his PR. Of course, his raw take point is not so, is not really higher because he's leading, because 2 points would take him to Crawford. So in a position where gammons are not very important, Geert could consider taking slightly deeper, but not as deep as this here. He's a clear underdog. He doesn't have the required 23% winning chances to take. As we can see, the gammons are irrelevant, 2%. But Geert is taking scarily long for this cube decision. Wow. 3 minutes on the clock. Geert is burning time. He does find the pass. Wow, wow. This does betray a lack of theoretical knowledge, I would say, from Geert's side. I mean, Kit Wools's book, I forgot what it's called, analyzes these types of positions very carefully on the bar against the 5-point board. Okay, 1 point for Marc. 6 away, 3 away now. Same considerations as the previous game when it was 7 away, 3 away. Marc should go for aggressive checker plays. Playing the 2 down is certainly not wrong. 5-2. Plays down and split. 6-4 makes the 2 point. And double 6. Escaping a checker and making the bar looks best. And already an advantage. 3-1. That's a nice checker play, but here Marc has threats if he can make the 5 point or the 4 point. But he waits, wants a slight improvement, and 5-4 is not the roll he was hoping for.
Slightly awkward.
Yes, you can say that again.
2 down.
Yes. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. Then 6-8-3. Aha, okay. Duplicating deuces. Well, it's a nice find, but this is the human play. Can Geert find a fly shot? No, but he can escape. The question is, should he? Down in the race, maybe 2 down or something, I don't know. Now this is a double 6, which will blitz, start a blitzing game. Blitzing and racing go together well. We know that from Marc Olsen's books. It's no use blitzing if you have a race deficit, so he does. Make 2 points in board. Geert dances, there's the cube, and you need to drop this, I am quite sure. You are on the bar, there are 14 checkers in the zone. This one, Geert.
No, this is not good to take.
Wow, it was even too good.
Yeah, even too good.
Yes. But Marc probably speculated that sometimes people take 2 good positions. 5 away, 3 away, tricky score. Geert made an enormous blunder in one of the previous matches by taking way too deep. But that was when Marc was 3 away and he was 5 away. Split with a 4-1 and the 6-4 points. 4-1. Okay, you can establish 2 points. A great anchor to have when the opponent has made his deuce point, and the 9 point is of course very important. 6-4 running all the way looks okay. Maybe you can do the big split and play the 4 down. I'm not sure about that. 5-3 makes the 3 point. Yes, you have an extra tooth in your board and you unstack the 6 point. Geert can escape with the 6-5. Wow. On the verge of establishing or reaching full freedom. So we are close to what Marc Olsen calls a defined position, where one player has escaped all his checkers to the midpoint. 4-3. You can either split or make the 5 point. Marc looks at splitting in the, what's it called, the Middle Eastern way, 2 checkers up. Or he splits to the best point with a 4. If I were to split, I would split with a 3 to the second best point and slot the 5. But all in all, my preference would go to making the 5 point. But no. Wow, making the 5 point is a big thematic or strategic mistake or tactical mistake. So to Marc's credit, he doesn't even consider making the 5-point splits, but slight mistake because he splits to the best point instead of the second best point. 5-1, okay. Geert has now completed his escape, has achieved full freedom. 4-1, making the 5-point was a good option to maintain maximum contact, but Marc anchors, and that apparently is a big mistake. 160 millipoints. This could shift the balance in the PR battle. 6-5. Marc makes the 4-point, and we can see that the PRs are now close. 5-1. Okay, maximum safety for Geert. No way you slot the bar point here and give your opponent a valuable deuce, so the ace should be played either 3-2 or 2-1. The race is close, so no cube threat yet from Geert. 5-2. Marc would have loved to make his 5-point, but he can't. The question is, can he run off his anchor here with the race equal? He decides against it and keeps building his board. 5-2 just brings the checker to the 6. Yes, well played. Now Geert has 4 checkers on the mid left, edging closer to a possible cube. 4-2. Marc makes a 4-point board, but he could have considered jumping off the anchor already, maximizing contact. For instance, by making Geert's double 4s play awkward. 5-3. Geert patiently brings checkers in. 6-1. Once again the same tactical option. Do you run from your anchor? Or do you play 13-7 and make the strong board? Tricky decision. And we can see that both options...
Race is close after the roll, so...
Still we know that these decisions are notoriously tricky. Run off the anchor or not, it appears that this is the best play, even though Marc is a bit down in the race. Marc decides to build his board and wait for a better opportunity. Here 2 options, you can make the ace or you can play 13-6. But Geert sees that Marc has a bad 6-1, which would leave a shot. 6-5. Same thing. Do you run or do you play 2 down? The double falcon is also an option, maybe. Something to think about. Marc stays on his anchor. He could have run, but that's difficult to assess. 3-1. Geert makes the 4-point board, feeling that Marc is lurking there in the bushes, poised to jump from his anchor. But now with Geert's 4-point board, it's tricky, but double 5s is a game changer.
Running.
We are, yes, wow, we are now suddenly in a pure race. Geert is, what, 6 pips down. 77.83. 77, 10% of 77 is 7.789. So Geert's moment of last take would be 86 pips, but he has 83 pips to go. So this is
very small double.
Small double, yeah. Geert's take point is really low at this score in gammonless positions. I think his take point is around 18%. So the take is obvious. Question is, is Marc already in his doubling window and he is thinking hard. Well, I think he's counting. Marc has slightly under 5 minutes left, counting, and I'm sure he is aware of Geert's low gammonless take point. He does give the cube, and he is in the doubling window. Great cube. Geert takes. 5-4 is a better than average roll. Marc brings 2 checkers in. Can Geert find a strong reply? He can. Double threes, 12 pips, that's great. Race is very much in the balance. 4-3. Bringing them both in. Geert has 4 crossovers before he can start bearing off. 4-1. Wow, that's only 1 crossover, okay. 6-2. 5-3. 2 checkers in. Marc still with a comfortable PR lead.
Yeah.
3-1. That's not a good one. The ace can either go to the 3 or to the ace. Both options are probably okay. Tense moments. 5-6. Geert is catching up. Double fives for Marc. Wow, this could be a game winner. It would equalize the match. 2-1. Poor. 4-2. 2 off. Geert's chances definitely below 10%, I would guess. A double, small one, still 8 pips. But it looks pretty desperate to me. Double 2, 1 more deuce to play. Four to 2 or 6-4. Difficult to figure out, and yeah, we can see Rain shows it to us. It's close. Okay, that's the 4-2 option. Not much in it. Geert, can he find boxes? No. 3-2. 3-2. Okay, Geert now desperate to find a high double. 5-4, not quite. 3-2. Okay. So Geert needs a double and Marc needs to miss. With 5 rolls or something, I guess it is. 5-3. What? 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2. That's the game. Wow. A close race. Marc found the sweet spot to double and he equalizes the score. And it still has, if I remember well, the better PR. So everything to play for.
4-4.
In this
Right.
tense 7th match of the RBL final. 4-3. 2 down is probably best at the score, but Geert goes for the structure and for the simpler holding game option. Going for a high anchor right away. 6-5. Cannot anchor but can make the 3-point. 3 away. You can double slightly more aggressive at this score. 5-4. You can run with either of the back checkers, or you can decide to attack and hit the white checker off the 4 point. It's a good play. Can Geert find a 4? No. 3-6 and in and out, duplicating 4s. Nice play. 2-1. Okay, you make the 4 and you can either slot or anchor. Anchoring seems best, yes. 3-2. Okay, the 3 to safety and the deuce either to the 11 or to stepping up. Stepping up looks a bit tricky because black has 2 stacks and 10 checkers in the zone, but it is slightly better, but negligible. 6-5 attacks. Marc is a slight underdog in this game, you can feel it, so you have to make something happen, and he does. 1-4, that's a great hit for Geert. And now the 4 can either go to the 9 point, as Geert points out, or you can step up. I think with the danger of Marc making his bar point with aces or 6s from the bar, stepping up is the right play. We can see it confirmed by XG. Geert is taking in the whole position. Yes, that's a very good play. Marc is looking for a number to hit back, I would say, on the 5 point. Can he? Yes, he can with a 5-1. Same principle as a move ago. You are underdog slightly. You're around the 45% mark. So you are not so desperate as to go into full defensive mode or damage control mode. You can still try to make something happen. So hitting with the ace is mandatory. It's unpleasant because it's your last checker from the 6 point.
Yeah, it looks a bit scary to hit on the 5, but computers say...
Yeah, it's actually
creates
pretty...
a very dynamic position. Yeah, but you must do it, huh?
I mean, you can make the bar and it looks like a very solid front structure, but you are down in the race by a lot. You don't want Geert to escape with his last checker. I'm a bit surprised Marc spends so much time over this. Maybe he is considering that Geert's front position is not really that threatening. With the stripped 8 points, you don't want to hit with 3s. The stacked 6 points, so that's certainly one of his considerations. But playing 8 to 7, I feel, is too passive. You do have an equally strong board, the 4 point made. So this is an interesting hit or not position. And he does hit, it appears to me. He does. Geert needs a 5 or something with a 7. 2-1. Okay. Interesting. You can enter with the ace and make the 11 point, which is a great point to have. Or you can continue the attack. Hit. Wow, but it's not easy because you have this race advantage. This looks plausible, but actually it's a big mistake, as we can see. Hitting...
Yeah, big difference.
Yes, is the way to go. 2-1. Yeah, nothing else to do but to make the 5 points. Duplicate 6s. This is not enough for Geert to cube, although double 6, double 3 look powerful. Double 2s. Yeah, making the bar point was an option, but this looks much better. The 4 point. Stepping up and 1 down. Yep, does 4 good things. Prevents being stuck behind the 5 prime. 4-1 makes the 5 prime and jump out. That's one possibility. Or you can attack. You can attack. And attacking is best. Yes. Falafel would probably be wondering why Marc thinks about this.
Falafel likes to break 5 primes, huh? To
Yeah,
hit.
he does, or he did know very well when to shift from a priming structure in the front to a blitzing structure. It feels like a shame to give up this beautiful 5 prime, but Marc does it to his credit.
Yeah, good play.
Great play. Geert looking for a 3. It's a 2-6 that does also hit. Now with the spare from the 11, a great roll. Marc under pressure to find a 5. It's there. 4-1, hitting back. Pressure again, Geert. Okay. There are market losing sequences, I think. 3-3, 3-1, things like that. 2-6. The attack continues. Once again, Marc under pressure. There's the 5-6. Wow, it's a double hit. Or is making the 5 prime better? No. Putting 2 on the bar and hoping that Geert doesn't find a 3. 3-way, 3-way. Geert, pressure on the dice. He dances. Now this feels like too good to me. You can take a roll. It's hard to lose your mark. Well, it's hard to lose your cube. He does roll and it's way too good to double. Wow, and it's a 200 millipoint mistake to cube this. Marc was way too good, and I would be surprised if the overall PR had not shifted now into Geert's advantage. 3-1 for Marc. He is 2-way, 3-way now. And actually Geert is now leading in the PR race. Wow, what a turnaround. Both players roll 6-5 to escape. 3-4. 2 down is a possibility, or you can step up once again. Difficult, I would say, to decide between the 2 plays. Geert plays 2 down, okay, 2-1. Both players having a single checker back. 5-2 for Geert, that's a good roll, making a point in board. Marc looking at an escaping roll, he can't find it. It's double 2. You can make the 4 point.
Or unstack that mid.
Or unstack the mid and bring some extra ammunition into the zone. Now the last deuce is also interesting. Marc plays down. It's a slight mistake. Once again, stepping up. Difficult. 6-1. Okay, beautiful bar point. Can Marc escape? Well, no, but he can come to the edge of the budding prime and see daylight with the deuce. That's what he does. And cleaning up the blood from the 11, which is pretty worthless over there with the 5 point made. Aces, beautiful 5 prime, but it becomes a broken 5 prime as Geert will surely shift. Marc cannot afford to dance. 1-6. Wow, and now Geert has a powerful threat. 6s are powerful, and especially at the score where his gammons against don't count if he turns the cube. He does find it. Strong double. Confident take by Marc. Can Geert roll a 6? No, 5-2. 5, and no need to step up, I think, because 6s are blocked because of the made 9 point. This looks well balanced. 13-6, well played. 6-1. Yes, the 6 needs to come down. This is the best. Yes, ace also. Ah, no, he could have stepped up with the ace. If Geert rolls a 4-2, he would have had a direct shot, put pressure on the 8-point range, yes. 1-6, that was tricky. But with 30 seconds on the clock, it's now difficult or tempting not to get lost into intricacies. 3-5. The 5 can go to the 5-point. I think that's correct. Yes. Marc's prime is brittle. It can break with certain rolls like 6-4. Okay, making the ace with the 6 and hitting loose. That plays with only one blot in the front. But Marc goes for the purer play, but it's not correct now. 3 blots over there. Can Geert find an ace? He can. 1-5 and now the 5.
I should double hit.
Yes. Yes, you cannot afford to give Marc some rolls which make the bar point. Like 4-2 or 1-2 or things like that. He does hit, continue. Yes, way more gammons. Marc needs a deuce. He dances. Wow, if Geert can make a... If you can win a gammon here, 5-1, you can hit on the 18 or make the 4-point board and leave no blots in the front. I think this is best. 1 minute on the clock. Geert finds it. Yes, he should have plenty of time to pick up the other checkers. A 4 for Marc. Good, a glimmer of hope. Geert needs to point or attack the back checker. Do you hit the checker off the 4-point or do you play just like this? He does it like that, I agree. And we can see that Marc's PR has jumped up dramatically. Dramatically. Wow. This is a shocking turnaround in this final. Geert can make the deuce point.
Yeah,
well spotted, well spotted. Wow. Breaking the priming structure and establishing a 5th point in board. Marc enters with a 4. That's huge, but there should be plenty of gammons here for Geert to pick up. 4-1, staying back. Give yourself one more roll to pick up a 5th checker. Marc is in dire straits. There's another 4. If he can find another 4 soon, he might be able to stave off the gammon. Geert, 6-4. Doesn't think twice about it. Runs for home. Marc, a 4. Badly required. No 4. Gammons, probably in the 90% range. 4-1. Yes. Okay, nothing else. Geert meticulously uses up his time. You won't see Geert make rash moves. Both checkers in makes him ready to start the bear off. Anxious to know what the gammon percentage is. 4-1. Wow, 15 crossovers versus 16. Wow, close. 2 checkers off. Okay, 6-1 to Marc. Running, okay, maybe 8-7 was an option, but no. Okay, Geert, 4-2. Yes, that leaves no blotting numbers. It looks like a tall mountain to climb for Marc to stave off the gammon here, but only 70% gammons. I'm quite surprised. 72% gammons only. That means like a 1 chance in 4 for Marc to save the gammon. Of course, he still has some contact, so there are still some winning chances also. But it's a tricky and treacherous situation for Marc to be in. Wow. Are we looking at a 2-point advantage here for Geert in this final? 8-6 would be shocking and a big blow to Marc, who was leading in the PR race earlier in this match, but suddenly saw it slip away due to some checker play mistakes. 6-2. Yeah, 2 crossovers maybe. maximize your double sixes. I'm not sure. I think it's pretty hopeless. Geert needs to avoid a 6-2. 3-2. Yeah, you can clear the 5 point and create a gap. Is that correct? No, it's close. Could have taken a checker off and kept the 5 point. Now Geert has some blotting numbers. 6-1-4, 6-3. Wow, Geert can take 2 points here. Wow, what shocking developments. 2-1. What are Marc's gammon saving chances? I'm not sure.
Like a G to me.
Yes. Still possible with the high doubles. 5-4. Marc needs a high double to stave off the gammon and stay in this 7th match. 4-1. The ace goes to the mid, yes, so you have a crossover at least with everything you roll. Double fours. Wow, this wraps up the game, and Geert clinches it with a beautiful below 3 PR, scoring 2 points. A massive tectonic shift in this RBL final.
Yeah. Geert looks like heated up. He knows he gave a big punch here. Wow. Curious for the results on plus settings, Michel. Let's have a look.
Wow. So Geert scoring 2 points, establishing an 8-6 lead, and his great PR of 2.9, I'm sure, has reduced the gap in the overall PR. Yes, we can see it. Rain points it out to
very
us
close now.
with a little arrow. Only 23 millipoints separate both players in overall
because it was
PR.
6-6 and now suddenly 8-6.
Wow.
So
it can all happen in the next match. If Geert can score 2 points in the next
right.
match, it will be over.
he seems back in shape since the second session was a bit with Geert, a bit with the cubes, and now it's a good start for the 3rd session.
Yes, especially since Marc was ahead in the PR battle during the whole game, but then suddenly made some blunders. And this is where we now stand at the end of match 7 in the RBL final. Thank you everything. Thank you Rain for this great and fluent transcription.
Yeah, thank you Michel for your pleasant commentary.
Yeah, great. Well done.
Yeah. So we'll wrap it up for here.
Yes, we
see you soon in the next one.
Yes, we are certainly looking forward to see each other for match 8. Thanks for watching.